How is it possible that everything I own fits in this tiny little backpack? Well, first, we need to back up a little bit. So in January of 2019, I embarked on my first backpacking trip to Southeast Asia. I explored countries like Vietnam, Thailand, and even made it over to Japan, South Korea. This was the adventure of a lifetime, and it changed my life forever in the way that I saw the world and the way that I understood life. Not only that, but it opened my eyes to the possibility of travel. And so to prepare for this trip, I was doing a lot of research into travel gear, specifically travel bags, backpacks. And I watched easily 500 videos just on travel backpacks, you know, from Pack Hacker and Chase Reeves. Shout out Chase Reeves. I was seeing all these different brands of backpacks, Osprey and Tortuga, Cotopaxi, Manal, and I just wanted to buy everything. I just wanted to order all of these backpacks and try all of them out, but that just wasn't very practical because I was on a schedule, you know. I had my ticket for this trip in January, and I started, ordering the backpack kind of late. So I just didn't have time to try all these bags and then, return the ones I didn't like. So I ended up going with the Cotopaxi Alpa 35 liter, I believe it was, and in the black color. And I thought this bag was good. I thought this bag, was really cool. It opened clamshell and it had these compartments on the inside that I could put my clothes in, so I didn't even need packing cubes. It had a couple of different compartments. It had a laptop sleeve in the back as well, a laptop compartment. So I just thought it was a cool bag. So me, being the very inexperienced backpacker that I was, overpacked. I packed, I don't know how many outfits, maybe 8 outfits. I brought too many pairs of shorts and probably 12 or 13 t-shirts, a jacket that I never wore, because I went to Southeast Asia, even though it's January, most of those countries are warm year-round unless you're in the mountains. Essentially, I just did not need all of the clothes that I brought, and I ended up, only wearing a few different outfits, and then I would say, 60% of my clothes I didn't even wear, so they just took up space in my backpack and they were just more weight on my back. But the problem I had was my relationship with that bag. And even though I said I overpacked in that bag, I still had extra room because it's a 35 liter, which is a very generous amount of space. And although I packed a lot, I still had room for accumulating more things. And as a novice backpacker, and also just being someone from the US, where consumerism is just such in our nature to an extent, I accumulated many things while traveling. You go to places like Vietnam and Thailand, and they have these big markets in the cities with so many clothes and gadgets, technology, things that are decent quality, but it's cheaper than things that I could have gotten in the US. Cheap clothes, cheap gadgets, shoes, souvenirs, oh, I should get this for my mom. Oh, my friend would love this, So I was just accumulating and accumulating and accumulating. And probably about 2 months into this trip, my bag weighed, oh my God, maybe 30 or 35 pounds, 17 kilograms. So this bag was heavy. I hated carrying this thing around. It was such a burden. And I know you're thinking I could have just gotten rid of some stuff, but I didn't, because I just had this mentality like, oh, I need to bring all this stuff back home. And I don't know why I thought that, but that's just how I was thinking at the time. So I have this huge bag, and most of the time, I had my bag, in my hostel or at my hotel, and I was running around, with a little day pack also from Cotopaxi, a little lightweight day pack. But every time you got to move from one hostel to another, every time you got to get on a plane, a train, a bus, walking anywhere, I have to lug around this huge 35-pound backpack on my back. It was just destroying my shoulders. I really hated it. And so I carried on traveling with this giant backpack. You know, I had some sweaters and some things I bought in Japan, and I was like tying it to the outside of this bag because there was no more room in the bag. So this thing just looked so crazy with all these ribbons and, you know, tassels like tied around it. It was just it was something else. So I continued traveling on for a few more months, and then when I got home, that's when I realized, you know, I want to travel again soon, but I am not bringing this bag. I am bringing something lighter. And so I went back onto YouTube and I started doing some research into some lightweight, just some smaller bags, some smaller backpacks. And I came across the Tom Bin Synapse 25 as in 25 liter bag, which is the bag that I use to this day. I saw this video, Chase Reeves, once again, shout out Chase Reeves. That man is the bag god, the god of bags. I saw this video of Chase Reeves, you know, talking about this bag, and what he essentially said is that this bag is amazing because it forces you to not carry bullshit with you. It forces you to say, do you really need that? Because this thing, I mean, it has enough space for me, but for the average person, I would say this thing does not have a lot of space. And when you don't have a lot of space in your bag, your space is very valuable. You can't carry any nonsensical item. And so I got this bag, the Tom Bin 25 Synapse, and in 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic, before shit really hit the fan, I moved to Osaka, Japan at the beginning of 2020. And then just a few weeks after that, I actually ended up moving to Vietnam, which is where I stayed for almost 2 years. And everything that I owned, I fit into this 25 liter backpack. And the feeling of that was just so freeing to know that every possession that I owned can fit into this tiny little bag, and I can just put it on my back and I can run. I don't have to worry about roller luggage with the wheels breaking or having some big bag that, you know, I have to check and my bag gets lost. You know, I don't check bags. I never check a bag. I always do carry on only because I don't want my stuff to go someplace with the risk of being lost or being stolen. And I also it just costs so much money to check a bag every time you fly, especially if you're someone like me. I like to travel. I go to a lot of different places, and that would really add up if I checked my bag every time. So carry on only. That's the way. And so here I am now. I have this bag, and it's the only bag I have. And what I think is the best thing about this bag is that it fits everything I own into it. And then when I get to where I'm at, my Airbnb, my hostel, my homestay, a friend's house, wherever it is, I can take all my stuff out, leave it on the bed, put it into the locker, whatever I'm doing. And this bag is small enough to be a day pack. I mean, it's essentially the size of like a school backpack, like a school bag. I love this bag. So I could get into all the things that I own and show you how I pack my bag and everything, but I think I'll just make a whole nother video for that because this one is already going on a bit. But yeah, I mean, I see travelers everywhere in Europe, in Asia, in the US with these huge bags. Normally in the US it's like a big Osprey bag, like a 40 liter or a 50 liter or a 60 liter. And in Europe, I think a lot of them use Quechua. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah, and those bags are also like 50 and 60 liters. And I mean, they're just having so much stuff. And even the first time I backpacked with that Cotopaxi, it was only 35 liters. So I can't even imagine 60 liters. Like, I would have brought home $1 million worth of souvenirs if I had 60 liters. What are people bringing? Are you bringing like, I think people are like hiding their friends in their backpacks or something so their friend can come with them for free or something, because I don't know what you would put in a 60-liter bag for normal everyday travel. I really just don't know. Shoes, clothes, I can understand if you have like some camera equipment or something like that, but other than that, I don't know. I don't get it. So to sum it up, I basically just travel with this little Tom bin bag because I feel free. I feel unbound to some big constraining backpack or roller luggage. This thing, it has my back. But seriously, over time, I just understood what I need and what I don't need. And what I need is not a lot of stuff. A couple shirts, some shorts, because I mainly travel to warm places. I don't really like to be in the freezing cold. I don't know about you. Maybe that's your thing. Maybe you snowboard. So I don't really need like I only have one pair of pants and they're super lightweight, almost like sweatpants. Yeah, so this bag just does the job for me, and I feel great having this bag. It's my main bag, it's my day bag. I mean, this bag just does everything that I want and that I need it to do. And I'm going to be making a separate video to break down this Tom bin bag, show you all the specs, show you how I pack this thing, so you can see for yourself, and maybe you'll want a Tom bin bag for yourself. Tom bin, sponsor me now. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If I can leave you with one thing about traveling, about minimalism, or something, a combination of those, I will say, when you are packing your bag and you have an item, which you will have something and you will think, maybe I don't need this, but maybe in an emergency, I will need this. Maybe if something happens, I will need to bring this extra battery, or I will need this extra jacket, or I will need this extra pair of pants. If I spill coffee on my first 3 pairs, it's not gonna happen. Whatever happens, you'll figure it out. You don't need to bring the extra stuff. You don't need it. All right, everybody, thank you for watching this video about why I travel with this tiny little backpack. If you want to see more content related to travel, related to minimalism, some challenges, some food stuff, some, I don't know, all different aspects of life, then consider subscribing to my channel. Hit that like button if you feel so obliged. Leave a comment about anything you want, and I will get back to it as soon as possible. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.